Multicryl 900 is the solvent-based painting system for the bodywork and industry, which allows you to obtain finishing with different characteristics and performances in metallic and pearl pastel colors. By changing the binder only, the system allows you to reproduce more than 80,000 car, motorcycle, RAL, Pantone, and CS shades, as well as for agricultural machinery, both as double-coat shades and as 2K direct gloss enamels and single component. The tutorial is dedicated to the preparation of a shade obtained with System Multicryl 900 and to its application. Through the Pulp Color Finder software, the operator is searching for the formula of the shade to reproduce. To make the choice of the shade easier, Pallini provides the Chroma Card color frame of reference, showing about 20,000 car shades including variants. As an alternative to Chroma Card, the search can be made through Pallini's spectrophotometer. As highlighted, for each shade, Pulp Color Finder shows the color of the filler on which the enamel will have to be applied. Once the formula for the desired shade has been found, weighing is carried out by the operator as per instructions. Remember that the products used have been previously mechanically stirred with a mixing machine. When weighing is completed, the shade in a cup must be mixed thoroughly until it is impossible to identify layers and lines of color on the inner side of the container. When the shade in the cup is perfectly homogeneous, we advise you to proceed with catalysis, as reported in the technical data sheet, and then with the relevant mixing. The dilution of the shade is performed as reported in the technical data sheet. The diluted shade must then be mixed and filtered with filter number 2500, 125 microns. For the purposes of demonstration, the operator is using a high transfer spray gun with incorporated filter. The application of shade Multicryl 900 metallic and pearl occurs in 3 phases. First of all, a very light and thin coat is highly recommended to remove any microimpurities due to the presence of silicone in the air. Then proceed to apply 2 regular and uniform coats with a few minutes interval between them. Finally, and very important, the so-called final fade out, which consists of a very thin and uniform coat. The application of the shade first requires that the support on which the filler indicated in Pulp Color Finder has been applied, when completely dry and well sanded, be cleaned with anti-silicone diluent 950. Once the support to be painted has been prepared, it is very important to adjust the airbrush correctly for each phase of application. Please refer to the Adjusting the Airbrush table provided by Pallini, which shows the adjustment required according to the model of gun used. For the purposes of demonstration, a SATA Jet 4000 RT gun is being used. The operator is setting air pressure to 1.8 to 2 bar, nozzle 1.2 to 1.3. Then proceed to the application of the first very light and thin coat. The left section highlights the small amount of product dispensed. After flash time of only 20 seconds at 20 degrees Celsius, the enamel applied must be dry. It is then possible to proceed to the second phase of application. Keeping the previous adjustment of the airbrush and the same application distance of 10 to 15 centimeters from the stand, apply 2 regular and uniform coats with a few minutes interval between them, depending on the temperature and relative humidity. Finally, the so-called final fade-out is carried out, a very thin and homogeneous coat which must be applied only when the base coat is not completely dry. The great importance of correct fading out is well highlighted by the test the operator is executing by covering part of the surface with a white paper and then proceeding to fade out only on the non-covered area. This will allow us to compare the result of the same shade depending on whether or not final fade-out has been carried out. The following rules must necessarily be respected for the application of final fade-out. Application is to be effected on base color 900 not completely dry. Reduction of air pressure according to table provided by Palini for the adjustment of the airbrush in the fading out phase. Increase of application distance up to 25 to 30 centimeters. For the correct adjustment of the different gun models, please refer to the adjustment of the airbrush for final fade-out table provided by Palini. The operator is setting air pressure to 1.4 to 1.5 bar using a Satajet 4000 RP gun. The operator is then ready to execute final fade-out, keeping an application distance from stand of 25 to 30 centimeters. Through application on a white paper, the right section shows the quantity of product which is necessary to effect a correct final fade-out. In fact, the application of a larger amount of product would compromise the desired shade of the color, not allowing aluminium to position itself on the surface as it is instead required. By uncovering the mudguard part where final fade-out has not been executed, you can clearly see the difference between the color obtained and the original car shade. After flash time of 5 minutes at 20 degrees Celsius, it is possible to apply one of the clears in the Palini range. The operator is applying the clear at 420 VOC 223 shine. The best possible result has been obtained. Multicryl 900 is a well-established mixing system which is really appreciated on the market as it offers shades with a high covering power, endowed with excellent chemical and physical resistance and faithful to the original shade reference. Remember that for all pearl and metallic shades offered by Multicryl 900 system, the correct execution of fade-out is essential to obtain the promised result.